Hello, everyone. I'm Gatesy. That's Duke. We're Forged from Iron, and we are very lucky enough to be joined by Jas. How are you doing, sir?
Cheers, everyone. Cheers, everyone on the Saturday.
Oh,
Having my
look,
favourite
see,
rum and coke. Everyone
he's
knows me as a rum
enjoying
and coke
himself.
man. Yeah, definitely.
He's living the high life. I, on the other hand, I'm being a good boy. I'm drinking tea, but look what I'm drinking it out of. I'm giving you a plug, Mr. Budden.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, wow.
Mr. Budden,
Beautiful.
I came third in one of his Thursday lunchtime quizzes, and that was my prize.
Brilliant.
And that has got pride of place amongst my mugs. I've got plenty of them. So
that's a limited
how
edition,
are you, Jas?
Yes, not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Like you said in the morning, we were kind of busy on another channel, and then celebrating the couple of sort of results are going our way today. So in good spirits, really, before our big game tomorrow evening. Yeah.
Was this channel Hammer's Pole by any chance, Jas?
It does ring a bell. It could have been. I've got a short memory now, but that's the one. That's the one, mate.
I vaguely remember someone else going on it this morning.
Yeah,
you are literally plug cities today. You are literally plugged in everything.
Listen, if someone agrees to come on and they've got connections to another YouTube channel, I'm quite happy to give them a shout out. It's all good.
We're all one family, aren't we?
Guys, absolutely. Come one, come all. We're all helping one another out.
We all got to be mad to support our club, so let's stick together.
Definitely. We don't do it for glory, do we?
Oh, too true. Yeah.
Tell the viewers that are watching that are sort of like thinking, Hammer's Poles, what's that all at? Jas, tell them what's going on at Hammer's Poles, mate.
Hammer's Poles is run by a chap called Ian, and it's quite unique when it started out. So basically, it's kind of very short videos, like a question every week. And then people send their video literally probably about a couple of minutes at the most, and you usually get 8-9 people on it. And now we're beginning to sort of have a show on Saturday mornings. So it's a quite nice slot where not too many channels are live either during that time. And another difference to the format is, of course, we talk West Ham. That's our first love. But alongside that, we also go through the fixtures. So that means we talk about other teams, other players. And now we're beginning to get people like yourself on there as guests. So it's a totally open sort of profile and subject area at the moment. So we want to hear from everyone who tunes in. Let us know what you want to hear, what we want us to do, and we'll do it. Because couple of truths to that is there's a lot of good channels out there. I think one of the clubs is one of the most channels, which is brilliant. But some of them are doing the same thing. So this is going to be slightly different. You guys are a bit different as well. Even sort of Hammer's X1, that's different. So we're all here to provide something a bit different than rather than similar content that a lot of the channels are going out there. So it's quite a young channel, and we're growing and just trying to do things a bit differently, really, and help out, really, yeah.
We tend to specialise in chaos and mayhem, don't we, Duke?
And I mustn't forget James, who's my co sort of presenter, James, Fat Boy.
Oh, Fat Boy.
Why would you have a name like
that? Every time I go to a West Ham YouTube channel, invariably James is on it. It's ridiculous. Hello, James, by the way. I'm sure you're going to be watching.
He's probably going to get a missed call in a minute. But...
Okay, so I'm just going to get this out the way, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that have been watching for a while know what's coming. I make no apologies about this. Isla Caton, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who she is a 6-year-old girl, and she is suffering from a rare form of cancer called neuroblastoma. There is no treatment for this in this country on the NHS. That means her family has got to put their entire life on hold, stop what they're doing, cart this poor little girl all over the world, wherever she can get the treatment to save her life. This is obviously very, very expensive and very, very stressful for her family, let alone the fact that it's coming in the middle of a global pandemic. I ask any of you guys that are watching, whatever you can donate, please give as generously as you can, even if that is only £1. There is no donation that is too small. This family will accept it, and very, very gratefully. And if you cannot donate, and I appreciate that times are tough for all of us, if you cannot donate, then I ask you please to share this far and wide. But can donate, I draw your attention there on the banner to the PayPal and the Just Giving pages. I thank you very much for your time and your consideration. So let's get into the meat of what we're here for then, Jas. So I'm going to just bring it up for the viewers at home. There we have the tier list. So just to show everybody what it's all about, we have 25 players in the current West Ham first team squad. these go from alphabetical order from Anderson right the way through to Yamalenko. We have 4 tiers that you can put these players into. Long-term player, 3+ seasons. So these are players that if you were David Moyes in the summer, you would look at and think, all things being equal, this player I envisage being at the club for at least the next 3 seasons, possibly more. The next tier down is 1 or 2 seasons. So players that you think you're probably only going to get another season out of, 2 best top whack, but after that, they're not going to be part of your plans. The next tier down from that, it's players that you're not too sure about either way, and you could make a case for putting them on any tier above or below. The final tier is real simple, quite brutal. 2 words, see ya. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Players that you're basically going to wave a cheery bye to out of the club. So that pretty much is what it's all about. So any questions, Jas? Are you happy to get straight down to it?
No, all straightforward, mate. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, ready to start.
As Mills Lane said before he introduced a boxing fight, let's get it on. First one, Felipe Anderson.
Felipe Anderson, what can I say? When he came in, he looked like a West Ham type of player. South American, full of skill. We love good wingers at West Ham. And he started off really well. But then I don't know what happened. He began to do something that wingers need to do. He stopped taking on people. And then there were mixed feelings amongst the fans. Oh, it's the fullback. He has to protect the fullback. He's not sure if he should go forward or back. And then in the end, the confidence just went, mate. I mean, I remember a couple of good performances. I think Southampton away rings a bell when he scored a really good goal. But then after Pellegrini sort of left, and even before he left, the form was going downhill. And there was all these, let's play him in the centre. I think they played 1 or 2 games there, nothing much improved. Oh, he's a forward, let's try him there. I don't think we did. I don't think he's a forward. Yeah, he just stopped taking on people, mate, and crossing the ball in, which wingers do. Stop shooting, stop taking. And when he did have the ball at his feet, he would pass it backwards, he would pass it sideways. So everything that I thought he would become. So big disappointment. And David Moyes does give people a couple of chances to improve, and he's kind of lost a chance. And even at the club at Porto, where he is now, they're kind of seeing a similar Anderson to us, similar frustrations. So for me, it's going to be in the Sia sort of thing. Very unfortunate because we can't, West Ham's finances is the way they are, mate. We can't afford the amount of money we've lost on him, 30 odd million. And a lot of that will be wiped away. We'll be lucky to see double digit, like 10 million back for him, I think. It's a very sad story for me. I had really high hopes, but it's all gone to pot, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think his confidence is just shot to pieces. You're right. I mean, the guy technically is one of the most skillful players at the club. I don't think there's any question about his sort of like his technique or anything like that. But it just seems that his bottle's gone.
And don't forget, he's got pace to burn, which is a really good asset for the winger. He's very pacey. But the one thing he hasn't got in his locker, which David Moyes will not accept, and I'm totally on David's side, he will not track back or defend. He just hasn't got it in his locker, I don't believe. Whereas people like Ben Rahman and Bowen, don't forget, they're a lot younger than him and willing to learn under the manager. Whereas Anderson in his late 20s, I don't think the mindset is there to kind of change the way he plays, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a bit. Yeah, you're right. I think he's a bit too long in the tooth to change.
He's a luxury. He's a luxury player, mate, isn't he? Yeah. He's a luxury player.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Thanks for your first sort of 2/3 of a season, Felipe. But since that, you've been pretty bang average, and you're not even doing anything for Porto now. So you're out the door.
I'm sure he's on a huge contract as well, mate. We need to get these people off the contract. I mean, David's done well to get rid of so many, but he's one of those 120, 130 a week, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Michail Antonio's next on the hit list.
All right. I don't know if it's controversial, but for me, he's going to go in the second 1 or 2 seasons, mate. That one. I think he's already hit.
Controversial.
Okay, I know. We just got to be careful when we're handing out some of these contracts to players with injury records, like Lanzini as a perfect example. We just got to go a little bit more. Because then once we're given the contracts, look at Winston Reed. He's got another year left, I believe, 1 or 2, even 2 years.
I think he's got. I think he might have contract. 3. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, we're getting 6 years, and look how we're suffering.
Nuts.
Yeah, so he's going to go in that second category. I think he's got 1 or 2 good years in him, but we should be next season looking at least to get a striker who's a proper striker above him, and he can support that. I believe Antonio would be good in the back three alongside Benrahma, Bowen and Lingard and those guys. Let's get a proper striker in them next year, a good target man, who can do slightly bit better than Haller. So, yeah, Antonio for me, a couple of seasons due to hamstring. There was a record I read somewhere that since he became a professional footballer, I don't think he's ever played more than 25, 28 league games in the season since he became a footballer. Wow. And even in a podcast, he mentions when he first started out, he had a great debut for I think it was Reading, and he broke down after 40 minutes and never played all year. So it goes back a long time.
I never knew that.
Yeah. No. And another fact is, he's never worked out in the gym, he said in that podcast, and people just couldn't believe it. He goes, I hardly work out. I've never worked out. It's all natural.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a bit like, who's the other fella? Adama Traore. He reckons he doesn't really.
No, he's got
to look at the guy, and he's
because he's changed the body shape in 2 years.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, I do. Yeah, I do wonder whether that statement is on the level.
Well, the guy that's currently playing for Wolves looks like the bloke that ate Adama Traore from a couple of years ago. It's my life. Like, seriously, like, bloke's got arms like, oh Christ, like, it was the size, aren't they? Unbelievable. He's got arms like I've got thighs,
Have you seen Torres? What he's done, Fernando Torres in the gym? He's gone nuts as well, hasn't he? He's gone huge.
Really?
He's gone huge.
I haven't seen it. Wow. Good God.
It's a cross between Ellen DeGeneres and Dolph Lundgren from the He-Man films. I've got
Jas, here's a question for you, mate. Jas, here's a question for you. So you're obviously in David Moyes' shoes in the summer, and you're saying about get a proper striker in. If you was David Moyes in the summer, and let's assume that we've got the 60 million that is purported to be available, and you've got certain targets you've got. How much are you spending on a striker, and realistically, and who would you like to see us get?
The thing with the 60 million, we know that 20 is going to go on Lingard and 2.2 on Dawson. So that's that's like 1/3 has gone, and then we're looking to recoup. I'm going to be quite conservative with Yamalenko and Anderson. Yamalenko we'll talk about a bit later, as you know, but someone of those those players probably would be lucky to get 7.5 each, I think, for players like that. So that's another 15 back again. So your budget, you're looking at around 25-30 max. And I haven't looked into. I mean, I was a big Mitrovic fan when we had these arguments last year. I do like him. He can play up front. He's a nuisance. He scores penalties. He can hold the ball up. I don't know why he's not favoured by Fulham. He's one of those names that I really liked. We've been speaking about Abraham recently, and he's a player that he would come to us, I believe, because he doesn't fit the Chelsea model. And I felt his situation was quite similar to Carlton Cole when he came to West Ham. Similar age, not favoured, but so much potential. They're like an unpolished, I wouldn't say unpolished diamond, I don't want to go that high, but I think there's a lot of foundation that David can tap into and improve. I think he's got something in him. I know Championship's not a good division to kind of look at players, but he did really well there when he brought Villa up. So players on that ilk like Abraham, maybe Mitrovic, maybe those 2-3 in France. They look good. Even the one at Salzburg, at Slavia Prague looks good. So whoever we buy, all these players got 2-3 things in common. They're very similar to Antonio. They're strong, they're physical, they're pacey, and I think that suits us. So whoever David will buy will be along those lines, those attributes, and that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I think that type of player to come in.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I think we should absolutely go for Tammy Abraham. And the reason why, for me, he would slightly be ahead of the others who are, like Tony, like Armstrong, like Simmer, all of whom are, great strikers in their own right. But the thing is, none of them scored a goal in the Premier League, whereas Tammy Abraham has.
Exactly.
So, he's tried and tested.
How much do you reckon Abraham will cost us, though? Considering that and you've got to think it's Chelsea selling to not just a London rival now, and let's look at this in a we're a league rival now. We're not just a London rival. Based on the season that we're having, if we can keep the momentum going with the players that we're bringing in, it's now not just going to be, oh, he's going across London with, he's going to West Ham. We're now a team that's going to be there or thereabouts to be trying to push that top 8, top 6, in my opinion, consistently now. So if Chelsea are going to sell him, and bear in mind, on top of the fact that he's going to be a young English-based, English-trained player, which helps with your European quota, which was, pardon me, one of the reasons that Man City ended up having Scott Carson on their books for such a long time, because he was considered an English-trained player, which then gave them, I think, a squad for Europe of about 30 or 27 rather than 24. That's why they used him. They could have 3 more of the top-ranked foreign imports, if you will. So us going after Abraham, for me, coming out of Chelsea, they're not only losing a striker to us, but they're going to be losing a young English-based, trained from a young age kind of player, which is one of those essential things that you need for Europe. It's like, if Barcelona come in for Pablo Fornals, I'm not saying they're going to, but if they do, he's considered that young Spanish-trained player, which then we can put a premium on him for him going back to Spain. We can put a premium on him. So I think Chelsea would put a premium on Abraham, and that's my concern with that, is that, he's considered, as same as Lingard coming down. I know he's only got a year, which is why it's 20 million, because he's considered an English-trained player, which then United lose that out of the squad. They lose a certain amount of spaces. So I personally think Abraham could cost us 20 million, up to 25 million. They do decide to go after him. And I know what you're saying about him being a good enough player, but for me, if we could probably get Adam Armstrong for 15. That lets us use that other 10 on possibly buying a goalkeeper. That's me. Listen,
maybe the only thing sort of like I would counter with is, did not Brentford say they wanted 30 million roughly for Ivan Toney?
Yeah, if that's the case,
so if we can get Tammy Abraham for 20, I mean, does that not represent good value?
20 is not realistic, mate. What it is, have a look at the Watkins scenario. He went for 28, banged in the same amount of goals as Abraham, but has been slightly more successful transitioning to the Premier League and similar ages. So I would say the whole package should be 35 million, but the way you do it, it'd be 30 plus add-ons. That's what I got in my mind. I think nothing more than 35. Purely because he does carry that British sort of UK sort of player premium that we've been speaking about, and very young, that you can mould him into roughly what you want and iron those edges out. Nolan can tell him how to finish, how to get clever, which I don't think he's been shown so far. And he does get lost a little bit up front, but he's got the stature, he has got the finish in him. So I'm thinking 30 million plus add-ons. So 35 because Watkins was 28, mate. So I think those scenarios are quite similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Moving swiftly along, we've got Fabian Balbuena.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of decided by himself what slot he's going to go into, so I don't have to say anything, and it's here, isn't it?
But if you were David Moyes, do you think you would try and talk to him over the course of the next sort of like month or two to try and get him to stay if you were David Moyes? And obviously we know what the situation is in reality, but
see, the problem with our club is what we want to do and what we can do are two different things due to the owner's budget. So sensible would be to keep him part of the squad. There's nothing wrong with that. He's been around, seems like a good character. The worry is how many years does he want? 3 years doesn't make sense, and we do want to stop making the mistakes of the past. It would make sense to keep him because I think they're relying on that youngster Elvis to come in. I don't know anything about him, how he's going to become. Looks like Dawson is coming in for Balbuena, like for like exchange, and people like Diop are a lot younger. And maybe I think if we were a little bit more financially sound and sort of well off, I think it would make sense just to keep him there. But due to trying to clear out as much as we can, and then he goes out. That frees up some money for him to go and get someone a bit younger. So I think our situation says, okay, thank you for the service, and due to the age and sell-on value in the future and trying to tie him up for another 3 years, it kind of makes sense for all parties. He'll be a free agent. He'll get one final signing back home in Brazil, wherever he came from, close to his family, because it's not easy to settle in Europe for people from South America, especially that age. So can't really put his kids in school, can he? Language issues and things like that. So yeah, I think it makes sense on all kind of areas and all clubs involved. I think on this one, yeah.
So he's in the senior pile.
Yeah, but not in terms of me being angry at him the way I'm at Anderson.
No.
You know, he's been a good chap. Yeah, he's been a good lad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. Moving along, we've got Saeed Benrahma.
Yeah, Benrahma's going to go right to the top, isn't he? Yeah, 3+ years in him. He's the story with him. What I've kind of was reading and found out was that Eze was the one David Moyes wanted at the beginning, and we went in early in the window. But the way Sullivan does things, they wanted 16-17 million, which is peanuts. But he wanted to do an instalment plan, and he kind of annoyed Brentford, and Palace came with more of a stronger cash offer, and they grabbed him. So unfortunately for David, the way Sullivan is, we lost him, and is so lucky that with 1 or 2 days to go, he was still there on the shelf. Otherwise, I don't know who we could have picked up. So that's the story why we got him. We had to pay a bit more, obviously, than Eze and other people. But really happy he came on board. He's a West Ham type player, full of tricks, full of skill. And David is trying to install like the more defensive side to his game, which he's learning every game. And hopefully next season, what he'll have to do is build a bit more upper body strength, I think. He was a little bit slight like Lanzini, but obviously in the league, I think you need to hold players off a bit more. So next season, hopefully a bit more bulky up on the top. And he's got a lot to his game. He can set people up. He keeps the ball. Just loses it sometimes when he gets a little bit sort of carried away, which I think David is obviously not concerned, but on top of him to make him the best player he can be, really. So, yeah, I think you're going to see good things from him going forward. He's a good lad. I saw some funny pictures of him and Diop and Masuaku messing about in the training ground because Masuaku's come back now. So it looks like every player in this team is all getting on like fire. There's no big time Charlies here. They're all got friendship, all loving each other, and really well done to the backroom staff to creating that environment. And he's very much part of it, I think. So yeah, one for lots of very young and many years hopefully ahead of him as a West Ham player. Really, yeah.
He's scoring tomorrow, isn't he, Duke?
Listen, every preview I've done since he's joined us, I think I've said he's going to break that duck this week, and then he lets me down. But he's scoring tomorrow night. I've got faith in the boy.
Once that first one goes in, I think 2-3 will follow very quickly. Just get.
You think it'll be like another Tevez?
Yeah, I think Jas, you nailed it though. With what you were saying about the upper body, I do think he not necessarily needs to work with Antonio because apparently he does the gym work. But
he'll snap him off, mate.
He does. He needs to just put a little bit of weight on up top, you know. So when he comes into some of these challenges with some of these players, you mentioned there about the fact that he loses possession a little bit too often for us. I think, as I've said many times across different videos that I've done, he can beat the first two players quite comfortably on the king runs. But the problem is, by the time he's got to a certain point, there's no one up there with him. So he's either forced to try and beat the third man, and that's when he does, relinquish his possession because it's one step too far, or he has to turn around and he has to pass the ball back 20 yards, and we kind of lose the momentum of what we've got going forward. So, I mean, you put a little bit of weight on him, so he's not as easy to knock off the ball, which then allows, the midfield and that to join him forward. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with him, mate. He's everything that he's everything I wanted him to be when he signed. I'm glad we got him. And if I'm honest, depending on who you talk to, my brother being one of them, he would have preferred it as at the moment, considering where we are in the league, I'd say we got the better deal. I'd say we got the better player. Personally, where we sit right now, I say we've done better out of the two deals. I think we got the better player.
I think they're both neck to neck. I've got a lot of respect for Eza. He glides with the ball, like it's on ice. He's definitely got something about him. He's going to be perhaps a bit too good for Palace in the coming years. So I think they're both brilliant players. I'd hate to pick one over the other. I would love both of them in my team, to be honest. Yeah. It's not easy shining for Palace, as you know, mate.
No, it's true. Listen, he's got a great career in front of him, Eze. He really has. And I don't doubt that in the next, probably the next 2 or 3 years, you will see him move on. No disrespect to Palace. I've got a few Palace fans in the family, a few friends that I know that are Palace fans, and I don't see him being there probably much more than another 2 years, to be fair, if that, because he's like you say, ball at his feet.
Yeah,
a bit more growth, a bit more experience. He will be something else.
Yeah.
So, next on the hit list, Jazz, Jarrod Bowen.
Yeah, right to the top again. Yeah, right to the top with Benrahma giving some company. Again, good young player, good signing, done really well, works hard. It's like the teacher used to say, you're a good lad, you do your homework always on time, you put a lot of effort in. So he probably gets like a minimum B for effort. Attainment, sometimes I know some fans get frustrated, including me sometimes, with the decisions when you get to the final third in terms of passing or finishing. But the main thing for us, and I always remember the dark days of the Pellegrini era and before, he tries. How many times we had players who don't even bother trying? He's always there, turns up 100%. There's nothing more we can ask for that, and the other bit will come in time. And I think he's still done for me. He's done well so far, and he's got a lot more improvement to done, and it's in his locker to get even better. That's the main thing. So it's good to get these young players on board and get the average age of the squad down, I think. So David has got rid of a lot of old dead wood and still will do the next couple of windows. And these are the players that are our future really going forward. And he seems to be from a sensible family, and hopefully he's kind of got the right people around him. And I'm sure he has at West Ham anyway. So, yeah, I think, again, like Benrahma, we're going to see good years out of this kid for West Ham, and he'll improve. There's always a room for improvement, and he'll hopefully get more goals for us like Benrahma and make the good decisions when you get to the last third. When we get to and then that could be, like we were mentioning, sometimes there's no one there to pass to, and then and the game is so fast in the Premier League, if you don't release it in that split second, the chance is gone, and then the defenders are back there, you've lost that momentum, and then you look bad yourself, really. So, yeah, I think good start for him, good career, and a lot more good times to come from him, I think, yeah.
I don't think there's a single word that you've said there about him, Jazz, that I could possibly disagree with. I think that's an entirely fair assessment of the guy. I think he's got plenty of potential there. Yes, his decision-making in the final third, yeah, you can pick holes in it, and I've done on many, many occasions, but he's still young enough to improve. So hopefully, next season and the remainder of this, we'll see him upturn his form. That'd be, all for the benefit of West Ham United. So
yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention is he's got a really good engine on him. Those type of players are hard to find. He'll go running all day, mate. Up and down, up and down. That's what we want. Yeah.
Bit like the next guy off the rank, Vladimir Sue Fowle.
Wow! Well, what a find! Wow. This is an incredible story. Incredible story.
Isn't it?
28 years old when he signed. Amazing. Was he working in the coal mines, wasn't he? Amazing. Yeah, I got it.
You naughty boy, Jazz. You nearly made me spit my tea out there. That's dangerous. Wait until I've finished the mouthful of tea before you try and do something like that, please.
Yeah, I will. But like you said, yeah, Souček knew him quite well. And another good character. And when he was so upset when we lost sort of to Man City, such a nice thing in this modern age where we all feel the players don't care as much as the fans, and he showed he does. I thought we played well. Okay, we've lost, but at least we're still doing well. He felt something different. He goes, no. And this is a winning mentality. Like, okay, Slavia Prague are like Liverpool, Man United in their own country. So these guys are not used to losing, which is good. And even with Lingard, he's brought that Man United class and ooze with him, that mentality of winning. So it's a really good dressing room at the moment. Every player walking in there has got something to offer. And for him, he's 28, and since sort of Ray Stewart's days, we've got a really good sort of right back who can play equally well as a wing back and as a full back, and who kind of reached national fame after the way he put Grealish in his pocket and all the hilarious videos that came out after that. It was brilliant, him looking in his side mirror and he's there. Absolutely brilliant. And fullback position is very difficult. It's hard to find good fullbacks. It's kind of a non-fame position. You're kind of always running up and down, winning it, giving it to someone else to get the glory. Good engine on him, done well at all the big games. Nothing sort of phases him. He doesn't get nervous. He gets stuck in. And I remember even in the Villa game, Grealish, I think it's one of the West Ham players who slightly touched Grealish. He went on the floor. And then he tried to pick him up, and Kufal said, "Leave him on the floor. What are you touching him for?" So I just remembered, if it was the old Upton Park, Chicken Run would have loved him. A player like that, who gets stuck in and gives him a shove, and he goes down. He would have been. Well, he is a cult hero, even though we're not at the ground. We've never seen him live. For us, he's become a cult hero, and the first time we'll see him live, we're going to go absolutely nuts, aren't we, for this type of person? So, yeah, good. Not younger than some of the ones we've discussed, but I'd give him a 4-year contract tomorrow, mate. No problem. The way he looks like he looks after himself, and you can tell these are good lads. I'm sure he's not the clubbing kind or the Frank McAvenny, one of my favourite players of all time. He's not like that. I think these guys are grounded because in Eastern Europe they haven't got the wealth that's in the West. They've grown up not seeing anything. You can give these guys £10,000 a week, and they'll say, "Oh God, that's so much. I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do with it, mate." It's that kind of mentality. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Top lad. Yeah.
5 million quid for this guy is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous value that we've got there.
Well, I know he's 28. We used to pay that in agent fees, didn't we, under Pellegrini?
Yes. Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. Tell me. Just ridiculous. Yeah. And Duke, you sent out, was it yesterday or the day before? There was the tweet with him and his Czech mate and the Czech Republic ambassador or something like that, trying to sort of raise some money, obviously, for Isla. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love them both. Brilliant. Okay, so we move on. Aaron Cresswell.
Crazy. Before David Moyes came in, I wanted him out. I'm going to put my hands up there. So, because I felt that his pace had gone. I thought the injuries had got to him. And especially in the back four, I'd seen many wingers, especially Toure, right in front of my eyes, absolutely rip him, even with a 10, 15-yard head start. I don't know what David's done to him, what he's fed him, and he's absolutely done brilliantly in that kind of free centre-back lineup we did at the beginning of the season, especially games at Leicester. I play fantasy football. He's probably second or the first highest tally defender in the whole league in England, in Premiership. Highest assists, I think, or up there. Totally changed his game, and his confidence is high up. And he's one of our senior players. We forget that. He is sometimes vice captain in the past, so he is respected. He's a good lad from Scouser. So, we've had good players like Alvin Martin, Mark Wood from that part of the world. Yeah. They're very similar to Cockney boys, similar kind of character, fight for you.
Working class.
So I think I would go in for a second category for him. I think 1 or 2 more seasons for him, I think. Because I think the pace will naturally dwindle as we go along, but we can still make use of his pinpoint accuracy. And Dawson mentioned that on his interview in the last game, and he couldn't speak highly enough for Cressy. He goes, "Okay, I'll score, but it's only because of the delivery that's going in." And he called him Cress. He goes, "Cress's deliveries are pinpoint, right bang on." So that's the thing we forget. We all remember all the goals going in at the moment from set pieces, but shouldn't forget where the delivery is coming from, really. Yeah.
Definitely. And I Duke will back me up on this because on our pre-match discussion show earlier today, I said that a little score prediction I went for. I said 1-1 for the game at Old Trafford tomorrow. And I said Greenwood to get the opener for United, but the equaliser to be a Cresswell free kick. I have a vision. Cresswell's going to come up with the goods, and he's going to put it top bins past Dean Henderson.
And Ben Rama, we said as well, that we've got a feeling about Ben Rama, haven't we? Yeah.
I think Ben Rama.
I have that same feeling every day. Every week he plays, every game, I have a feeling. And normally I've been wrong. So If he don't score tomorrow, I'm just going to shut up. I ain't going to lie to you. If he don't put one away tomorrow, I'm not going to bring him up again in a review. I tell you.
I've come to the conclusion that, every time I've backed Ben Rama to score, and obviously he hasn't so far, so I think to myself now, I'm not going to back him to score because at some point he's going to. And I'm just wondering, is it the fact that I'm backing him to score that's putting the mockers on him? So I'm like, right, I'm not going to back him. I'm not going to back him, and then he can just go out and crack on.
I must say that it's not bothering me in the slightest whether he scores or not. I'm more bothered about the performances. But it's good David is giving him a kick up the backside because that's what David's paid for. So some managers might have been, but that's the thing with David. They're all scared of him. I even remember the penalty fiasco where they asked when Lingard and Rice were fighting over the ball, and Rice said, "What happened?" He goes, "I went back to the room, and why I took it." He goes, I had in my mind that if I don't take it the first time round, he goes, the David Moyes and the backroom team would have done me, and they would have gone for me, and I can't bear that moment. And I think that's really good to be, fearful and respectful of the manager, the kind of environment that he's got out there. I don't think any of them want to put a foot wrong under the way we are. So, and I think he's telling Ben Rama, he's only telling him because he knows he can do a lot more better. Same with Bowen.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's had words with Bowen. I know he has. And with Ben Rama for their own good to say, come on, there's more we can get out of you guys. And even with the competition at the moment, Bowen on the bench at the moment, I think it's good for Bowen to have a rest. He deserves it because he's been playing every game before Lingard came. But it creates that competition, doesn't it, that we speak about, that if I don't perform, I've got someone there ready to come in.
Yeah, competition for place is never a bad thing. So now, the next player on the list is... Yep.
Oh, sorry. I just want to touch on what you said there, Jas. I think you've really got a point. The respect and like you said, the fearfulness of the manager doesn't seem to be something that strikes me that exists across too many clubs anymore. There seems to be far too much player power. We saw it with Lampard. We saw it with Mourinho and the other guys at Chelsea. Chelsea seem to be one of the core teams that have this kind of player power. And the star power, if you will, that everything but a manager gets undermined. And you're right, I think, in what you're saying here at West Ham is that when he was there the first time round, and I've got this on some good authority, when he was there the first time round, he was very much a disciplinarian when he first came in, and the players really didn't take to it. They really didn't like him because they weren't used to it. They weren't used to the manager being there every day at training. Don't get me wrong, Pellegrini would be there at training, but he'd be in the office. He wouldn't be out on the pitch with the players for a lot of it. And so when Moyes came in the first time round, when Bilic was there, they didn't like him. They didn't like Moyes coming in and firm fist kind of thing. When he came back the second time round, he kind of came in, he said, look, that was water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. I'm still going to be that manager, but also, listen, we're going to be a family. I want to be a part of that. And that's exactly, for me, what he's created. He's created that matriarch. He's the patriarch of it all. He oversees everything that goes on, but he still injects the fun in the games, but they're still fearful and they're still respectful of the manager, which we don't see too much anymore.
I think you're right. I think, obviously, anything you do in life, there's always a fine line. So George Graham, for me, I think he used to perhaps be a bit too strict. And there's stories coming out, why did Poch leave? The player said he ran us into the ground. And we can see that at Liverpool now. So when you do that pressing game, after 2 years, your engine's gone. That's why they're suffering. Yeah. That's why Spurs had to get rid of Poch. So all David Moyes said at the beginning was, look at the stats. We run the least. We're the least fit. So he just wanted to get their fitness levels up. And once they're up, and then do more ball things. So that's kind of Nolan's coming to help them finish, get into better positions. So, and don't forget, he's been a manager since 1998, really, David. So, and he's one of those, like you said, he's a hands-on coach. He's the first one in the training ground, last one out. And he's not like Harry Redknapp, who never used to take any training. Like you said, John Lyle was a full-on coach. Those are the people that really make the difference. And also, it's good to get a backroom team because you don't want David in your face every day. So you can have someone else, who's a bit more relaxed, chat to him. But that's the thing. You've got to get the whole balance right, I think. Fitness is A1. You can't do anything about that, especially in the modern game. And the nice thing, which some fans weren't kind of coming over to, we are playing good football. We are. We were fearful. Some fans were like, yeah, we're winning, but it ain't West Ham way. But I think it's brilliant. Or you look at the chances we create and how many we miss despite sort of scoring a lot. I'm loving the football. I think it's fine. I think it's calculated. It's professional. It changes every game according to kind of which team we're playing. But we do create, but we do have a nice mix. And what I love about ourselves is the way we're set up. There's such a great shape to us. And this season, I think we haven't even been turned over like we used to in the past. I don't think we've been thrashed by anyone. We're always in the game, even when we're 1-0 down. No one puts their head down. We've got 2 free captains on the pitch. Dawson, Ogbonna, Rice, even Lingard's brought his class with him. Souček is like a mini captain for the future. Look at Kufal, 28. We've got real men, real leaders on that pitch who wouldn't let the standards slack. If someone like Ben Rama started messing around, I think they'll soon hold him up and say, "Come on, mate, we don't take this kind of crap round here," So I think that this is, and it's all done in 1 year and 3 months. We've been back, David. I can't believe the difference from what was before. So hopefully the board is the one I'm worried about. That is the one I'm worried about, whether we can replicate this season, next season. The board has really got to get the money out. I mean, January I was disappointed. Lucky we got Lingard over the line. The board is the only thing in our way of us progressing further and have similar seasons, really. So that's the thing I'm going to keep an eye on. See how much they back the manager in the summer.
If by any chance any of the GSB are watching this, back David Moyes. Give him the support.
Yeah, hope so.
So, moving on. Next player's not technically a West Ham player, but Craig Dawson.
Craig Dawson's going to be, again, 1 or 2 seasons, I think. I believe he's 30, 31. So by the time you're 33, you don't want to give anyone any more than 2 years. So if we give him a 2 / option for 3 is the way they normally do it, then that's about it for him, I think. Again, like I'm famous for backing David Moyes. And when Dawson came, again, I don't see the thing where we sign someone and they absolutely go mad on Twitter. I knew Dawson from, again, fantasy football. He used to be my team sometimes because he scores a lot. He's a professional guy, been around the game, sensible defender. Just give him time, and he's proven us all kind of wrong, or most of us. And that's what I'm hoping going forward. When we sign someone, just trust why we brought the person in and just wait, before backing him, especially once he's on board. He's one of our players and part of our family. So I'm really happy for him more than anything. And we didn't buy him for the goals, but he nearly got 2 at West Brom. He hit the post. He cleared one off the line, man of the match, and seems to be another sort of down-to guy. Again, another professional person who we just about got over the line. 2.2 million. I believe someone found out that once he's played 14 games, then the clause clicks in, which he's 2 games away from, really. So, I think second sort of slot's fine for him, I think. Again, all these players, we're all saying similar things, aren't we? Good leaders, down to earth, good professionals. Yeah. And he's one of them again, mate. Yeah.
He's not been daft, David Moyes. I mean, you look at the players, he's not just signed good players, he's signed good characters.
And another thing with Everton, those players, even though Everton had no money under Peter Kenyon, he had a great relationship with Kenyon, but those players didn't leave Everton a lot. People like Cahill, they were there nearly a lot of the times. So it's like even with Leighton Baines and people like that, and even like Rooney came and went under his sort of while he was there. But even with Barclay, he had a lot of respect for David Moyes. Lingard kept mentioning David Moyes in India. Why did you come here? He goes, because of the gaffer. I worked with him before. He brought me into the team, and I can work with him. So, like I said, he's been around the manager a long time. He's got links everywhere. He's bought a lot of players. Everton youth team back then was really good. I think it's a good manager. Good players coming through the doors. He's not that sexy Latin American name a lot of people wanted, and I kept telling him under this board, this regime, he's ideal for me. He's a good fit for us. Us, Newcastle, Villa, Everton, we're the same kind of club. So a lot of the time you have to be good fit. I mean, if we go and buy some Dutch, Brazilian coach, we tried it with Pellegrini, people like that. It didn't work out. I think he's a good fit for us. And I feel we're lucky to have him because I'll never forget the 10 years he had at Everton. I hated playing Everton. They were so hard to, and we become that Everton. But hopefully we win a bit more than they did and do that a little bit more. Because I think hopefully the board will back him a bit more. Because back those at Everton seriously didn't have any money at all.
No,
really. Yeah,
he was operating on a shoestring, and yet the results. I mean, he was consistently top six. You know,
top six.
Was just and if we could get that sort of level of performance consistently, despite a lack of relative investment, I'd be absolutely cock a hoop, Jas, and I think most West Ham fans would absolutely.
And hopefully in a couple of years, just one more point, a couple of years time, hopefully he'll bring whoever he wants as number 2 to come in the future, whether that's Nolan or not. So hopefully Nolan's learning loads off him as well. You mustn't forget that we've got a young backroom team, and hopefully he'll be grooming the next one as well. He's not that old. He's 58, I think, something like that. But I'm sure that's on his back of his mind as well. Bring someone in who can hang around. Yeah,
definitely. Next player on the hit list, Issa Diop.
He's another one. I'm just going to say, I feel that. Oh, what can I say about him? He had a great first season, like Felipe Anderson. Mourinho was speaking very highly of him. He had everything in his game. He looked like he certainly was dominating the French under-21s. He looked like he was going to get eventually into the full team. And then you value rockets. He's got the pace. He's got the height. But I don't know what happened to him after that. He just doesn't seem to... Again, David's getting a lot out of him. I don't know how David does it. But I'm still thinking he's the worst player on the pitch for me, even in the last couple of weeks. He's played good. He's played well. But in terms of the other 10 players, he's the worst. He fails to mark people. He loses whoever he's marking quite commonly. Even in the game at Tottenham, he was like on the wing. I'm like, what are you doing? So Cresswell had to fill in for him sometimes. And I think whoever partners him has to get hold of him and keep telling him, listen, mate. And I think Dawson covered for him twice, even in the last game. He was nowhere to be seen. So that's the things he needs to improve on. He can't read the game. He can't mark. He's got good pace, but he really needs to use his brain a bit more. And I'm hoping David can improve him. So for me, I'm going to go in a not sure. Diop. I'm not sure about him. I think the way I'm thinking about it is that I think perhaps we can get good money for him and get someone else in. I think because we don't have the greatest funds to play with. I'm not sure if I can give him a 2-year contract or see. I'm not sure about him. That's the truth. I don't think he's clever or guile enough for my liking as a central defender. I think he loses his marker too often for me. Yeah.
Now I'm going to bring Duke in because I know what he's going to say here.
Yeah, right. Well, I've done this near enough every video, Gates. I think
pretty much.
Basically, there was a Hammer's News kind of put out a report the other day stating that obviously at the moment we've only got Rice and Souček, our 2 core, deep line midfielders, defensive midfielders. Obviously with Noble's legs looking a bit wobbly now and not quite up to the pace of Premier League football on a regular basis. They actually alluded to the fact that Diop could be turned into at his age. He's only 23. He could be turned into a midfielder, into like a defensive midfielder. He's got the runs with the ball that he done again. He did it a couple of times against Leeds. He brought the ball out from the back. I think he did it a couple of times against Spurs as well. And they were insinuating he's got the same sort of gait, the same sort of the way he plays with a ball. They compared him to Vieira. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that Diop could be a Vieira if we put him in the middle of the park, but it's something I think that could be an interesting manoeuvre. I mean, we know that Moyes, he moved Rice from centre back, didn't he, when he first came to us the first time round, and look how that worked out. Arnautovic to a striker, and now Antonio as well. What do you think on that one? Obviously,
yeah. I think that's a brilliant shout. That's a brilliant shout, and I haven't thought about it. So fair due. That is a really good point. He's got the height, he's got the physicality, he's got the pace. Yeah. He's 23, and David seems to be like a teacher, a good old teacher at school. He just seems to get the best out of all these students, really, isn't it? So that's a fair shout, mate. And like you said, going back to Cresswell, I had written him off, and maybe one or two other players, but we are quick in the modern times to write players off. I agree with that. So hopefully under his guidance, just give him a go. But then how do you try it out, though, with these two who you can't get in there, can you? So I don't know how
that's the only issue, isn't it? But then it also comes down to the issue of being if you're another centre, we're looking at bringing in at least one central defensive midfielder in the club season. I spoke with Gatesy about this, and I thought that maybe John Joe Shelby or Isaac Hayden at Newcastle are good backups to these two players. They're not. They'll push them enough that the League Cup and the FA Cup games, it can be sprinkled out. But your better two would still be Souček and Rice. But if we're looking to bring someone in who would really push Souček and Rice, you ain't going to get anyone coming in knowing that they're going to play second fiddle with Souček and Rice every single week. So pre-season, I don't think we've got anything to lose by saying to Issa Diop, listen, we're going to retrain you. What do you reckon? We want to drop you into a CDM role. We're going to give it a go in the 3 or 4 pre-season games, see how you get on. I don't think we've got anything to lose by it. I really don't. And if we find another Arnautovic type, miracle that happens, all of a sudden we don't need to spend on a central defensive midfielder.
I tell you, you're going to make me laugh. I think he's already playing there because I said he's not. He doesn't play centre back, does he? He's never there. And I'm telling my son, where is he? Where the hell is he? The cross came in. He's nowhere to be seen. So.
Maybe that's what he's doing with you, Jas. Maybe he's playing with you.
I think so. So when Souček goes forward for the crosses, corners, he's there in the middle next to Rice, and he's covering. I'm going to keep an eye on that. That is funny, but it could be a point. He's never in that position where he's meant to be. He goes wandering off.
He's auditioning.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, and that's why he scored that goal, didn't he? Sheffield United, was it? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Right place, right time. Okay, next player on the list, Lucas Fabianski.
Fabianski, yes, second, again, similar, 1 or 2 seasons at the most. Me and James have been speaking about the goalkeeper situation quite a lot in sort of preceding weeks. And Fabianski, bad injury last season, kind of showed how critical it is to us and also showed how poor backup we've got. I've got no confidence in Randolph at all. I felt against Manchester City, we would have definitely got a point if Fabianski had played. I felt for one, if not both the goals, his positioning was poor. Every time the ball came near him, I got really nervous. I didn't have any confidence in him. He just looks lethargic. Looks like he's been on the piss last night with me every time he plays. Fabianski has 1 or 2 things wrong with him as well. His distribution when the ball's at his feet is not good. Handling is brilliant. Shot stopping, brilliant. And obviously the back four have full confidence in Fabianski. But we really need to bring the future in ASAP. I think James said that Trott, he thinks he's not the option from what he's seen. I don't know. Our dream signing would be Pope. He would be the Phil Parks type of signing where we broke the mold, broke the record. And Pope is so good. He's definitely going to be the England number 1. And he would be 100% non-risk signing for me. He knows the league, very comfortable. And he'll be our goalkeeper for the next 10 years like Phil Parks was really. But I don't think we've got the clout or the sense to get him in. Fabianski, 2 years at the most, but I would have want someone. I want his predecessor in the summer so he can guide him and bring him along. I don't think any of those number 2s, I think are going to be in big trouble. We can't rely on any of them, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So 2 seasons, being a good servant. Sullivan proudly tells everyone that's his signings. So well done, mate, if it's true. So I don't think that guy from Sheffield United, I ain't got no confidence in him. Henderson's up and down, mate. Good goalkeepers don't come along that quickly, and I'm a big fan of Pope. Big fan, yeah.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Next on the hit list, Jas, we've got Pablo Fornals.
Fornells has again a player that I was quite frustrated with before David Moyes came, and certainly in the early part of his second sort of comeback. David, he still has issues when he's in the final third. He makes poor decisions in terms of finishing and passing and releasing the ball on time. Like David Bowen, very similar. He's got a very good engine on him, works very hard, which obviously does mean a lot to David. That's why he's in the team a lot. I do see improvement in him very slowly. I do see improvement. He's very young, and I think he's one of the under 21, when we signed him in Spain, sort of top players in that tournament that they had in the summer before we signed him. So I think I'm going to put him in the top. I'm going to go for the top. I think his attitude is right. Mindset needs to be a bit more stronger again, perhaps a little bit more upper body. Him and Ben Rahman in the summer worked together. So these players, yeah, they're good characters, hard workers, just needs a bit more confidence. And he'll be a lot more better player for him, but certainly I wouldn't want to get rid of him. I think he's learning from a different culture, different country. Got to give him that, sort of think about that as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot of room for improvement, but the mind is there to learn. You can see he's a good student. He'll learn, and he hasn't got a chip on his shoulder. So yeah, good character, and I think we can get more out of him slowly every game. I think, yeah.
And Duke knows what I think about Pablo Fornells. I think he's an excellent player, and I think probably his best position is probably going to be the number 10 position. But having said that, I think that him playing on the left is a big part of the reason why Aaron Cresswell is having such a great season, because I don't think it's a coincidence that he looked like he was struggling because he had Felipe Anderson in front of him. You know, aligned with the fact that, yeah, he's got a little bit older, he's lost a little bit of pace, but it was a double whammy by having a guy in front of him that offered him virtually no protection at all. Now he's got a guy in front of him that is so hard working. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Cresswell has had something of a renaissance this season. I really don't. I think he's a big part of it.
I tell you what, if we sign that striker that we were looking at, and those three that played behind him, we're going to have five that can fit in those three. We're going to have Antonio, Bowen, Benrahma, Fornells, all these people. And then I can't say that we're punching above our weight. These are real quality players in their prime, really. Apart from Lingard, obviously he's 28, 29, but he's still got good years ahead of him. Those five...
Well, it's not played that many games. For a 28-year-old, Jazz, he's not actually played as many games.
No, I'm surprised he's 28. He's got that baby face, hasn't he? I couldn't believe where all the years have gone. And when you look on YouTube, I know sometimes you shouldn't look on YouTube, but he was an England regular. He scored in cup finals, and you can see the confidence that oozed from him in day one against Villa. Because these class players, when you see them, because he's a class above Ben Rahman, these guys at the moment, he's always got space. He's always available to receive the pass. And I love the fact that he's had a bit of a balmy over the penalties, but he's not shying away from taking it. He's saying, I want it. I want to take it. So that's a kind of a positive as well. We could look at it negative as well. So I think if we get that striker on board and Antonio's half fit, that's a good six that can fill in the four places. And that's a good competition we created there. Yeah, that'll be good. And that can match a lot of the teams in that Premier League. Then I can't say that we're punching above our weight, because these are good players. Yeah,
agreed. Next on the list, Jazz, we got Ryan Fredericks.
Oh, Ryan Fredericks, a bit like Diop. I'll just say it the way it is, mate. He's not too clever between the ears. I'll say it in the nicest way possible. I've seen him on YouTube, and he does come across as one of those that he's not too clever. He's got a good heart. He's a good character, good guy to have around. But sometimes he's fast, but sometimes he carry on running and the ball's behind. He's left the ball behind. But again, David's got so much out of him. You know, when he's played in that wing-back position, he's looked brilliant. So what can I say? David's making my decisions really difficult. So I'm ruling out a couple of players, but David just gets something out of them. I think he is 28, 29, if I'm right. I'm going to go for, in terms of, because you've got to be ruthless when you want to go to the next stage up. And for that, I'm going to go to I'm not going to say see ya because I have to see what's going to come in the summer due to our budget. So I'll go for not sure. I'll go for not sure because we still need him for at least a year if we don't get any fullbacks over the line. You see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he's got good pace and he's done well, mate. You know, maybe he's learning from Fowle, but them two on the same, you know, couple of times as a wing back, he's done really well. Especially, I think, did he play against Spurs? If I'm right, he did well there, didn't he? Can't remember now. Was it one of the big games? He done really well.
Well, he
so not sure, mate. For me, not sure.
Nah,
yeah.
In answer to your query about his age, he's 28. He turns 29 on the 10th of October.
There we go. Yeah, no reason to turn him away, but then all depends on if we get a really good fullback over the line, then perhaps we can feel we can let him go. But he came as a free, so I'm sure he's not on huge salary. So perhaps as a backup, I think he'll be fine. I think yeah,
fair enough.
Not as a starter. Not as a starter.
No. But a squad player.
If you want to get to the level that we're all hoping we get to next season.
Yeah. Next on the list, Ben Johnson.
Ben, I'm a bit worried about Ben. One of the reasons is that he's not played in the right position. You know, he's played on the wrong side compared to the sort of what footed he is. Bit up and down with Ben for me. I think he does all right, and then he doesn't have a good game. But again, you can tell he's a good kid. So for me, I'm gonna be brave and go for the second one for him. I think there's something there that he can be around for a while. I think. Again, perhaps not starting, but certainly good enough to be around the group of players on the bench and keep learning. So I don't want to say not sure. I think some of the performances at the beginning were very, very good. I remember Man City and other games. And he scored when he, I forgot the game, but he scored a goal this season. He played really well.
United.
Yeah. So he's good, average, good. That's the way it's going at the moment with him. So no need.
No, sorry, Brighton. Sorry.
Yeah,
Brighton.
That's it. You're perfect. You're right. So no need to. No, he's a youth player as well. So, and he seems to get along with everyone again. So yeah, I'm gonna put some confidence in him. I think he'll improve with the coaching again. I think
So we're going 1 to 2 seasons.
We're going for that's the one. Second one. Perfect,
and of course, the thing is, you can always, if you were David Moyes, you could put him in that category in the summer, and it may be if he has a good season, you might move him up a notch, or if he has a bad season, you might stick him in the bin. So it's always these things are always flexible.
Yeah.
Next player, I think I know what's coming. Manuel Lanzini.
See ya. Yeah. Completely finished for me. Hasn't got the physique, hasn't got the engine. Shadow of a player. Thank you for the Tottenham goal. I'll never forget that. That'll go in my memory for my life. One of the greatest days, as a fan. I'll never forget that moment. Watching it go all the way in. I go, what the hell is this? Is it a pigeon? Is it football? Is it Concorde? But yeah, so thank you for that. But no, thank you. No, I mean, David's given him enough chances because David does love him from his last time. He's got a very soft spot for him. Yeah. But he has also said that I do know in his current physical state, we can't start him every game. I'll have to use him sparingly. But even no, not for me. And he's on 130 grand a week. He's on a reasonably good contract. Yeah. Again, the worry is who's going to sign him. I think Poch came in for him very late in the last window when he knew Dele Alli's not coming in. So Poch thinks highly of him. And I think to be him, he's a top lad. And sometimes a change of scenery does good for you. So I hope Poch follows that up. And if he's going to go PSG, what a great transfer that'd be for him and us as well, I think. And I wish him well and thank him. But not for me, but on a nicer level than Anderson,
He goes with your best wishes as opposed to you shoving him out the door.
Yeah. And anytime he can come round with you and show me how to make a really nice Argentinian steak anytime. I love that.
You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. Next one. One of our other Lone Rangers, Jesse Lingard.
Lingard, 28. Let's put him in the top one. I think he's got more than 2 years in him. Yeah. He'll be 30, 31, 32. Yeah, he seems to be a bubbly character, as we've seen from some of his past YouTube videos. Beans. So he seems to be a bit of a fun character. Seems to mixed in with everyone really well. And David Moyes, you can tell, loves him to bits. He always speaks about him and is really happy what he's brought into the team. And we can't speak highly of how lucky we are that these players are just hitting the ground. It's not easy to find players like that who hit the ground running. And like you said, he's England. He's English. That's a premium. It helps with the squads, and he knows the league. The only thing, obviously, he's only lived in Manchester all his life, so hopefully he adjusts to London quite well. Not sure I don't think he's married, so hopefully he settles down in the future in London as well. So 20 million should clinch it, hopefully. And I think what's more important, what I'm hearing, is he does want to stay, despite Leicester. So Leicester are sniffing at the moment in case we don't get into Europe, and they do. They want him. So, I think he'll have 3-4 years for us, mate. Put him in the top. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Well done, Jesse, mate. Really happy to have him on board. Brilliant.
Top man. Yeah. Top man.
Yeah.
Next on the list, David Martin.
See ya. Yeah. Thank you, David. I mean, again, I'll never forget what you did for Chelsea, running towards his dad in tears, and Alvin's in tears. I was nearly in tears watching them two.
I think we all were, mate. Yeah.
Real fairy tale moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll never forget that. Such a good lad, all brought up the right way, and West Ham fan, obviously, from being a kid. And we saw those pictures when he was a tiny toddler with the West Ham kit on. And let's keep him as a coach or something like that. You know, these people we need around the ground, like Nolan. So, see ya, in terms of he's not really going to get a chance.
No.
So no point just paying him as a player. Pay him as a coach, Bring him in as a coach, mate,
Yeah.
Bring him in for that, Bring him in for that. I think that'd be brilliant,
No problem. Arthur Masuaku, Jazz.
God, we spoke about a few surprises. I think this one tops it. Again, David, I don't know what you're doing, mate. I haven't got a clue.
He's putting something in their bowl of Frosties at Rush Green, isn't he?
It is amazing, isn't it, how many we've spoken about? It's not just the one fluky one he's improved. There's a number of them. Very similar to Fredericks, pacey, not much between the ears, not really holding back from that. We call him Elvis and all kinds of names, and he made the wing back position his own. Oh God, he's got to be. I'm not sure. I don't know if you want to help me out. How old is he? I'm not sure. Is he 26? Is he 27?
I believe he's 28, but let me just have a look. Okay. He's 27. He's 28 on the 7th of November.
Oh God. I've still got something about in my mind. I still want to see a bit more of him than half a season to make up for the 3 where 4 he was appalling, just saying it out there. So I think I'll go for the second one for that. Yeah, I'm still unsure. I want to see a bit more.
Let me ask you, if someone came in with a 10 or 12 million pound for him, Jazz, in the summer, would you accept 10 or 12 million pound for him? That's the only question you've got to ask yourself, because then you can work out where you want to put him. Is he? Would you give him another 1 or 2 years, or if someone came in and offered you 12 million, would you let him go? Then he goes in and not sure because you don't know what you do with him.
I'll let go of him. Yeah.
For 12 million. Yeah.
I'll let go of him. It's not an easy decision, but I think he's punched above his weight. He's played in a good organised back 5, what it was. I don't think he can play in a back 4. I don't think he's a winger. No, he's not a winger. So for me, again, going back to how much financial clap we've got, can we afford 12 million sitting on the bench? I don't think we can. So not happy about what I've said, but I would let him go, mate. Because to get to the next level, which I keep saying, you've got to be ruthless. And is he top 6 material defender? Just slightly off for me. Off for me, mate. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. For those of you that have watched the previous videos on this tier list series, you'll know that at this point I deviate. I've been going alphabetically all the way, but at this point I'm going to go the other way. So we're going to go next to Andre Yamalenko.
See ya. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, £125,000 a week, big contract, good guy, plays superbly for Ukraine, their best player. But I don't think we should have bought him. I think it was a mistake. Again, buying like Harry used to, buying a 28, 29-year-old on the wrong side of the age and full of injuries like we've seen. Just doesn't have the engine, mate. I mean, we started with him like some fans wanted. By the 30th minute, he's blowing. You can't carry on. Very, very good in terms of finding the goal. He's got the knack for sure. But again, if we're going to get to the next stage, £125,000 a week. I expect more week in, week out. And again, I think we'll be lucky to get 10, 15 games out of him. And I think he's out for foreseeable future. So when you look back from the time we've signed, I can count on one hand when I've seen him 90 minutes. So, yeah, unfortunately, see ya. Yeah.
I don't think so far, I think I'm right in saying, Duke, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Has there been anyone yet that's put him anywhere other than the senior pile?
No, I mean, listen, everyone has said, thanks very much, good riddance to bad rubbish kind of thing. My only concern, and again, I've brought this up a couple of times, and I think so have a few others on these tier lists. He's going to be a bugger to move on because of that contract. Listen, we ain't going to get much, if anything, for him. I think
I'm going to top up my run, mate. It'll be 1 minute. You can see the back.
No worries.
Go on. Most people have said that they'll just let him go, and look at that. That is something else, isn't it? Look at it.
That, mate?
His bar. That's just outstanding.
I know.
I know. I've got. Listen,
how the other half live.
I know I've got one downstairs, but I can't use it at the minute.
Tell you what, hang on. Get a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the other half live.
Be all over that.
Is that in your house, or is that a man shed you've got at home, Jazz?
Hang on, let him get his headphones in. He'll be with us.
Oh yeah, he hasn't got his. Jazz, is this in your house, or is this a man shed in your garden?
This is a garage I've got at the front of the house, mate.
Oh,
so it's a double garage, which during lockdown I converted into a gym, a bar. So it's a full bar in the back. So all I need to do is I'm going to, hopefully, once lockdown improves, I'm going to put TV on the screen, get a sofa in here. I was thinking of a pool table, but I might not bother because these pool tables do take up a lot of room, mate. And I'll think about it. Yeah, and then the way you do is if I get my garage doors replaced, if you get the electric one, imagine this scenario where you come back from a West Ham game with a couple of your mates, no need to even go inside the house with a remote control. Both the doors go up. You come in with your mates, straight in the beers, and the wife doesn't even know who's come in or out.
Sorry,
look, I've got it all worked out. I've got it all worked out.
Where did you say you live?
Man cave.
Sorry?
Where did you say you lived? Sorry?
I live in Windsor, Berkshire, next to the Queen.
There you go. That's where we're going after the games next season.
I hope so.
It's a bit of a trot, in fairness, from where we are. But
no, don't worry, mate. Listen, I saw the transport, and my wife is a Michelin chef standard sort of curry cook as well, mate. Yeah. If you like a bit of curry, you'll love it, here, mate. Yeah, she's top notch.
Do we like curry? Does a bear shit in the woods?
I tell you what, it's better than all this Bangladeshi restaurant crap some guys eat. There's a proper Punjabi, Indian, authentic, proper curries, mate. You're gonna love it with the Sikh kebabs, whatever you want, mate. All the beers. You've seen the stock, whiskey and rums, more whiskey, whatever you want. It's all there, mate.
I'll tell you what, Jazz. As soon as Boris gives us the thumbs up, we're there, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Brilliant. Seriously, yeah, I'll pick you guys up and sort it out. And it'll be sofa beds, and you stay the night. No problem, mate. Wherever you want, no problem.
Duke, pack your suitcase.
And then I was telling some of the channels like this one, we'll do a live show from it. We'll get, we'll do something funky. We'll get some of the other channel boys in there, like James. We'll have a laugh. Yeah, we'll have a laugh.
Why not? You know,
we'll do something.
We've had an absolute crap year, so soon as we're all given the thumbs up, that's it. We're off. We're off. Definitely. Next one, Thomas, the Potato Salad King, Souček.
Right at the top, mate. Right at the top.
Boom. Boom. Yeah. Straight in.
Brilliant, mate. He is. the player that we were crying out for a good few years. Once we knew Noble's engine had gone, and he's the box to box. So I'm not saying those other players I'm going to talk about were great, like Keate and Diami, but good engine. I think goals is a bonus for me, and what a good bonus. I think he could even get into double digits this season or next season. The way he's going, future Czech captain, really strong guy, good engine on him, and Rice can't speak highly enough of him. And we mustn't forget, the better Rice plays, that's a little bit because of Souček as well, covering for him. They're like good friends, you know. He speaks highly of him, and how nice to bring players through the doors, touch wood, that are not injury prone. You know, I hope I'm not gonna. I didn't want to say it, but everyone through the door this season, recently, like going back to Bowen, don't think they've missed hardly any games. But I didn't want to say it, and hopefully
players that are more robust,
strong, isn't they? Very strong, you know.
Not players like, we could go down the years. I mean, like Yamalenko, Wilshere, Carroll, going further back, Kieran Dyer.
All these players.
I remember when we signed Kieran Dyer, and I turned around to my best mate, who we went together at the time. He hasn't got a season ticket anymore, but and I said to him at the time, why on earth are we signing this guy? He's an injury waiting to happen. And I think it was 2 games later, we played in a League Cup game at Bristol Rovers, if I remember rightly. And it wasn't just a hamstring. It wasn't just a calf. Oh, no. A double leg fracture.
Okay, leg went flying into the stands. I think he had to bring it back.
And it's not his fault. Don't get me wrong. Wasn't the guy's fault. Absolutely not blaming Kieran Dyer for that. But at the same time, it was like, you just knew there was going to be an injury round the corner, and when it came, it was like, well, that's him out for a year at least.
Well, what it is, when the Icelandic crew came in, it was a type of thing we were waiting for, but they were in a ever so rush to spend it all in like 1 or 2 months. Yeah, that egg guy, he's like, I'm like, calm down, mate. You know, you're bringing in players who don't want to play for West Ham. Lingard, he didn't want to be there. He took the piss out of us. You know, I think he scored a penalty against Liverpool, or 1 goal maybe. We had to pay him off. Half the players coming through the doors didn't want to be there. They're there for the money. I mean, Lucas Neal was on huge money. He said no to Liverpool to come to us, but he was a brilliant captain. You know, again, sorry, forgot about him being a good right back. But most of the others were like, great leader. But some of the others were like, oh my God, what's going on? And Kieran Dyer, to be fair, when he was fit, you could tell he's a player. You know, he's an England regular under Bobby. Bobby Robson knows a player. We all know that. Bobby loved him. And so, like you said, but with his record, we can't. And I think we paid him off. I don't know how much money he took from the club. Him, Lingard, you can add Wiltshire to that. That's 3 of them. Add another Carroll. That's 4 of them. Oh, you know, so sometimes the board have put reasonable money in, and it's gone tits up. And it's maybe their fault in not doing the due diligence on players.
Absolutely.
You know, which we're doing now. And then we blame
the old
David
saying,
sometimes.
Jas.
And we
the
call
old
him
saying,
differing.
a fool and their money are easily parted.
That's why I get angry when people call him Differing Dave. I said, let him be differing. I'd rather think about it, and then rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely. Moving along, Zanday Silva. Now he is currently on loan at Aris Thessaloniki, and I checked the other day, and if I remember off the top of my head, he has 3 goals in 23 appearances. So it's not exactly he's not exactly ripping up any trees, is he?
So what I like to do is put him on not sure. Yeah, I can't write someone off I don't know nothing about.
No, that's fair enough.
And 3 goals is 3 goals, and not sure for me, mate. Yeah. So and again, going back to what David and the backroom staff can get out of him, but I'm fully confident with this. When David doesn't give someone a chance, or does give someone a chance, that means a lot to me. That I'll leave it to you, mate. I mean, we've seen some of the starting lineups. You know, I've gone, Dave, what have you done? So apart from the Brighton game where he was wrong, and he said he was wrong, and I was fuming at that lineup, everything else, I can't really say anything now. I just got to keep my mouth shut, and it usually works out to be all right. So not sure on that one. Yeah, let's go, not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely fair. It's kind of difficult to judge someone that you've barely seen kick a football. So maybe there's a reason why he's hardly kicked a football in claret and blue. But there you go. That's another conversation. Declan Rice.
Right to the top, my friend. Right to the top.
Boom.
Right to the top. Yeah, brilliant.
I
Yeah,
don't think there's been anyone that's put him anywhere else, in fairness, in the same way that Yamalenko hasn't been anywhere other than Sia.
I mean, football ability is there, and we're so spoiled. We don't give him man of the match because 7, usually 8 every game. Don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Furthermore than that, good family, good upbringing, good character, speaks so well in front of the camera, always speaks about the team. It's like a dream, picking the kid up. Usually the kids these days on that kind of money that early, you know what they're like. So, long may it carry on. And David, again, loves him. And he loves David. He's always mentioning him.
Yeah.
Like, he goes, oh, we're learning so much under him. It's so buzzing. He goes, oh, I don't want to be at any other club. And that's why it's so crucial that at a minimum we get 7th, at a minimum, and get into Europe to keep him, keep Souček. Because otherwise... Yeah, there's always the vultures out there, the agents. But I know we get into Europe, even Europa, we've got him for another year, I think. I'm pretty confident. So, yeah. You got the 3 European tournaments this year, Jas. You've got the European Conference, haven't you? Which I think, if dependent on who win the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Champions League, and all the rest of that malarkey, dependent on who finishes in the top 4, we can actually qualify as low as 8th place for the European Conference, from what I read the other day. So, even then, any kind of European football will keep Declan Rice with us next season. Even if it is that Europa Conference League, I think he'll stay. I think so. He's a sensible kid and he's well settled. I think he lives around Surrey, if I'm right. I think someone's telling me around there, so not too far away. So hopefully, if we're thereabouts, and certainly respectable and challenging in the top 7, then that's fair enough. I can't expect him to stick around at a club in the bottom 10. I can't. But 7th and upwards, and why not with the board as well? Yeah. So hopefully progress. Yeah. So hopefully we kick on and push on, and the way the results are looking. I was telling someone, if we finish Champions League, I'm probably going to faint, mate. I don't know how I'm going to my blood. I don't know how my heart's going to take it. I don't know if I'm going to be lost for speech. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep us. It's going to be busy. Essex hospitals are going to be busy that day, I tell you. But yeah, I've only got just up the road here. I can walk up to mine. You're already making that plan, aren't you? I'm there.
Yeah. Derrent Valley, or Death Valley as we know it locally, but that's another story.
Right to the top level for me. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Next player on the hit list, great servant to the club, but I have a funny feeling I know where this guy's going to end up. Winston Reed.
Yeah, see ya. Yeah. But having said that, great servant. There was a time where he was carrying our defence. We mustn't forget that. Arsenal Wenger was very close to getting him. He wanted him, and that's why we gave him this huge 5-6 year contract. I know he's had back injuries. I think Avram Grant bought him after the World Cup performance from New Zealand, played him as a right back, as one of the worst debuts. If I remember, against Villa, we got tonked 3-0, I think, Martin O'Neill. Then shifted him into the middle, and he looked very comfortable, had it all, very strong. And some of the New Zealand sort of locals, Kiwi, they played the All Blacks. He's from that kind of sort of blood black line, and they're tough, they're strong, and that's what he's been, really. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we might be able to say bye if we're at a ground. I don't know how it's all going to work out, but obviously he hasn't been seen around the club for a while. But, thank you for the service. But, like Lanzini, thank you. But, time's up,
Yeah, it'd be nice if Brentford do get promoted and he gets signed on a permanent. It'd be nice for him to come back to London Stadium for us to give him a sort of like a belated send off, if you will.
Well, James was saying that if we go for that Brentford striker and they really want him permanently, we might be able to do a deal. But that's if we want the striker.
Possibly that's the reason why this deal happened in the first place. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So, okay, we're getting to the nuts and bolts of it. Next one, Darren Randolph.
See ya. Yep. And already discussed, so we're not going to go on about it. Yeah.
Just quite simply, not good enough for a Premier League goalkeeper. Simple as.
And he's a bit of a party animal, and he does look hangover, doesn't he, material at games, seriously.
Do you reckon a glass or two of your rum, I reckon that'd finish him off, wouldn't it?
He's a bit like Adrian, where you're not going to get three decent, good games out of him. You're not. You're going to get all kinds, aren't you? Average, crap, good. We can't. The goalkeeper can't afford to be
that anymore. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Need to be operating at a consistently good level and beyond. So, next on the hit list, penultimate player, we've got Angelo Ogbonna.
Got to go in the second, really, as a reward for, my God. I voted for him for Hammer of the Year last year. Do you know that? I voted for him Hammer of the Year, ahead of Rice. I don't know. He's another one. I don't know what David's done to him. Another one that we would have happily,
mad, isn't it?
Who would have got rid of him.
Yeah.
And he's come back like the general. Like, wow, you are. Now we know why you played for, like, I think it's Juventus, I think.
Yes,
regular for it. And you don't play for that kind of countries and clubs if you haven't got something about you. And God, he's been smooth, isn't he? Smooth. Like, I'm the man, don't mess with me. Oh, can't speak highly of the guy, brilliant. And I think he's fully deserves 1 or 2 years out of us for that. Really good performances. And thank God Dawson stepped in, and Dawson's kind of covered for him in a similar pattern. And when we get them two together again, because I think Duke still, he won't get in ahead of Dawson and Ogbonna for me. So them two are proper generals, and they experienced, clever. Yeah, so well done.
I think we're looking at April for both Masuaku and Ogbonna being back in contention for starting position. So I think probably another 2 weeks. I'm not sure, how far into April we're going to be looking, but from what I gather, Ogbonna could be back in that start. I'm not saying mass, but Ogbonna could be back in that starting lineup for that first weekend in April, which is huge for us.
I think they're mentioning the international break, which I absolutely hate. So after that, David was saying that Ogbonna certainly is beginning to run now, and Masuaku is on and off, hopefully. So not too far away, I think, both of them. Yeah, hopefully.
That's good.
The last player, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, I was going alphabetically until I hit this player, and then I changed tack. The reason I wanted to leave him till last is because this is the man that a couple of days ago signed a new contract to take him into next season, which will be his 18th and last as a West Ham player. Ladies and gentlemen, 520 career appearances in claret and blue, 60 career goals. I give you the one, the only, Canning Town's finest, Mark Noble.
Canning Town's finest, what an introduction. Yeah, and bought with that cryptocurrency where he's on about. Lenny, lovely man, Lenny, done some really nice work for me in the past, so good lad. I mean, I'm in touch with him. Good boy. Can't put him in any of those categories, can you? It's going to be disrespectful if I said see ya or not sure or. So we'll leave him where he is. Am I the first one to do that? I'm going to leave him outside.
You got to make a decision, Jazz. I can't have you having splinters in your arse, mate. Come on. You got to make a judgment call. And this is based on him purely as a player.
Okay, see ya for me. See ya for
really?
Me. Yeah, because as a player, don't forget, I definitely want him there as a coach when he's ready. But as a player, for me, the engine's gone on him. I mean, again, if we want to hit those heights, top 6, top 5, top 4, Champions League, Europa League, it's going to be a bit too much for Mark. And think about it this way. It's better that you leave on a reasonable high than watch a player suffer like Nolan did, as we remember, and then start. Because I'm not one of those, but some of the people on Twitter start swearing at him. And I don't want to see none of that. So with all those things in hand, I think, thank you very much. Brilliant service. One of the highest appearances, ever for a player in the top 6, 7, and great service. And we haven't won anything. So again, means even more that he stuck around, really. So for me, with that, and I think deep down, the only reason he's sticking around is because we're not there. Otherwise, he would have said, this is my final season, really.
True.
He's very wealthy because I think with Rio, they bought a lot of property around Olympic Stadium. So he's invested his money very well, very wisely. He certainly doesn't need the money anymore. But I think out of respect, perhaps he will come back as a coach, as an ambassador, definitely. You know, he's easy. You don't see players. You never heard a bad story about him in the press or anything. Down to earth.
Yeah.
Down to earth. Before a lot of the Upton Park shops closed, like the pie and mash shops, he was a regular there all the time, you know, local lad. So, yeah, with those thoughts, I think, yeah, I don't want to see him suffering in those times and things. I think he doesn't need to show me anything, you know. You've done your bit, mate. And we have moved on as a club. We got two juggernauts in that position and hopefully get another one to back them up. And, yeah, that'll be it for me, I think, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. You are David Moyes, and you can make these decisions as you see fit. What we think's irrelevant. So, Jas, we're at the end. So I'm just going to put it full screen for the ladies and gentlemen watching at home. So, just to recap, we have in the top tier long-term players, so 3+ seasons. We have Ben Rama, Bowen, Sue Fowle, Fornals, Soucek, Lingard, and Rice. 1 or 2 seasons, we've got Antonio, Cresswell, Dawson, Fabianski, Johnson, Masuaku and Ogbonna. The not sure category, we have Fredericks, Diop and Silva. And waving a cheery bye, we have Anderson, Balbuena, Lanzini, Martin, Reed, Yamalenko, Randolph and Mark Noble. So there we go.
I'll tell you what, that's so good the way you've displayed it, because it tells David what he needs to do. So you've got a lot, like you look like you instantly you look at a top category, then you look at a bottom category, don't you?
Yeah.
Because the top category will tell David, I don't need to worry about these guys. But then the ones at the bottom, and he'll be like, oh my God, there's still 7 or 8 I have to get rid of.
Yeah.
The middle ones I don't worry about. The top 2 are the key ones for a manager when he sits down with his backroom staff and David tells him, you've got 5, mate. You know, what do you want, chips and a kebab or a burger? That's it, you know, all that kind of thing. But that's really good the way you did it. I mean, you've done David's work for him. If he looks at this video, he'll say, that it's all in front of me.
Well, we've done plenty of them in the series so far, and as I say, with a lot of players like Yamalenko, like Rice, like Soucek, a lot of the people, I think virtually all the people, have put those players in the same category. You know, either senior or top tier of players, and sort of. There are some that have been sort of like maybe here one person and the next person might put them there, but they're usually pretty much of a muchness. And it'll be interesting once we finish this, and I think we're gradually getting towards the end of this series' shelf life. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to go over it and just sort of like see where, you know, the average, if you will, over the course of the series, where each player ended up. Yeah, and maybe put that out, because we've got a couple more people in the pipeline, and I'm not going to give any spoilers because this one's going out at a later date. This is not going out tonight, but we've got a few more people that we've got in the pipeline. One spoiler I will give you is that the last person on the list is me, because those that have watched this from the beginning, the first person was Duke.
Was me.
The last person is me.
Really?
We're gonna bookend the series. We're gonna be one end and the other. So once we've got everybody out the way that wants to participate, then I'm the last one.
Let me give you a quick tour of the bar while you're there.
Oh, we got to do this.
I don't think many.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna go full screen on you so that everybody can see this, because this is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so you've got so that one is McAvenny and signed by McAvenny and Cotti. That one framed.
Wow.
It's got a very small crack, and from Upton Park Club Shop, I've got a slight discount. You've got you got the Billy Bonds art one there at the top.
Yeah,
Billy Bonds, a limited edition signed by him in pencil. There's only a limited edition there. I've got McAvenny photo from a guy, Ray Stewart, scoring a penalty, I think, if you can see up there.
Yep, got it.
Then you've got the Palo de Canio print there, which is quite smart. They've done 2 or 3 of them. I think they've got Phil Parks, perhaps. Brooking. They've got Brooking 1980 falling on the floor, scoring. This is Upton Park as we used to know it before even the West End went up. It's a print from I found it somewhere. You've got where am I now? So you've got all the team groups from like the 80s there, all of them there, Division 2 champions. So I've got one person who printed them all off for me. So you got Bishop.
This is making me thoroughly jealous. I don't know about you, Duke, but I've got a little wall in my dining room where I'm sitting at the minute, and it's just to my left and just slightly in front of me.
This is signed by Alan
It's nothing
Devonshire.
like this. Yours is just blown mine out of the water.
This is one of my favourites. Look at that one, signed by Billy Bonds.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, that is
The way they've done the photo, I don't know how they've done especially. They've put both of them together. It's one photo, but yeah, you can't even tell how they've joined the photos together.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of got the authenticity certificate on it.
Yeah,
you got Bobby up there. Then you've got these little funny little lads here. Look, I started collecting them in the summer in the lockdown.
Little figurines.
Yeah, I used to collect them.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got most of them. Yeah, I've got Upson, Jarvis, Taylor. I've got most. But the one that you probably ain't seen a lot, I got Cotty. I don't know where the hell he popped up from.
Oh,
Someone was selling it. Yeah,
that's
in
the old
kit.
1983 kit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hand painted. A lot of these are hand painted because they're kind of quite rare. I got the Canio Ashton. Oh God, who else have I got? Ferdinand.
Is that Tim Breaker next to Rio Ferdinand there?
Yeah.
Love
Even
that.
I've got Davasuka, Carroll. I've got Collins, Tompkins, Yamalenko, Arnie, Paez, the little kid.
I'm going to go Steve Potts, second shelf, far right, sorry.
It's got to be in it.
Potsy,
he's there. I can't see him. Where is he?
On the right.
There he is.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Is that
that one.
Yeah, that's Potsy.
Hey, you'll never beat the Potsy.
I've got tons of them. I'll tell you what, you've got me want to dig mine out now, Jazz. I've got loads of them.
But look, I've got a nice stand. I bought the stands separately because you don't get a stand, do you? So they're on like a couple of shelves, aren't they? They're on there.
Oh, I'm all over that.
That's
I've
why
got Paolo on mine.
What about my rum collection? You know what I mean?
Oh, look
you
at this.
You got Bacardi all up there. You've got that from St. Lucia. I went to the Barbados, the Mount Gay rum distillery a couple of years ago.
Mount Gay, top draw.
Seychelles, yeah. Buddy had a honeymoon at the age. Yeah.
Fire up the Quattro, as they said in Ashes to Ashes.
Yeah. Got the whiskey. You got your Johnny Walker Blues all up there. Royal Salute. The father-in-law gave me that last week. So yeah, you got to come over, mate. You got to come over. Yeah, whenever.
I'll tell you what, mate. We've and he's got his fridge there as well. Look, this is.
Oh yeah. Got all the.
He ain't playing games.
Got a couple of beers in there. Beer. I think my son drinks. I don't drink a lot of beer, so he's got San Miguel beer and Moretti and all them lot in there.
Love it.
Yeah. And I got Upton Park. I think because I follow the cricket team a lot, the Indian cricket team. So you got the old Upton Park up there. I've still got a lot of room, though, to do a lot of bits there. So what I'm going to do is up there, when those garage doors are gone, all the shirts are going to go on that wooden pole you see up there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So all the shirts, it's a double garage. It's quite a lot of room. So it's going to kind of go all the way across on the wooden pole up there. Yeah, I'm going to start getting them hanging up there. So, yeah, it's got a lot of room. That's all the whole corner. It's all empty anyway. You've got a gym up there and all kinds of bloody things going on, mate. So that's exclusive, mate. No one's seen it.
I'll tell you what. Windsor must have some pretty big gaffs. I reckon they're bigger than most of the places that round here. What do you reckon, Duke?
They are.
I think he's shown off enough there, and now I'm going to have to do some work. I might have to do a bit of work in here now. I'm looking around my gaff, mate, and
I feel
listen, if you look at the floor, these are cheap carpet pieces I just picked up in the lockdown. They're not that much. All I had to do is put that aluminium silver damp proof thing down, and then you get these glue in a spray form, and you just spray the back of the mats that come in sort of square shapes. I don't know what they are, 6x6 or something, and they just go down pretty easy, mate. And so yeah, that's all I did.
Go down pretty easy. What is that, like Jack Grealish, Mohamed Salah, people like that? Did you see what I did there?
Jack Grealish, oh bloody, what a pain in the backside. But then again, yeah, great player. I mean, great player. But
I did a video. A bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I did a video 2 years ago when we were in the dumps for Hammers Chat, and I told them kind of what players we need. He was on that list. We had Traore on it because I had Traore and Redmond as wing backs in that team. Because I like Redmond. I like the pace because we didn't have any pace back then when I was going really upset with the whole team and setup. So I picked all these players that had something a bit about them. But yeah, we done well, mate. We done well. So I'm really happy to be in the channel, and wish you well in the future, and let's connect regularly. We'll get you back on our little thing we do in the mornings, mate. So good to see you. It's always good to see two sort of new West Ham fans. Do you go regularly once things open up?
I'm a season ticket holder. I've got 4. Well, I'm very lucky. I've got 4 season tickets with me 3 kids. So
I had 3, but what happened quickly? I know I've gone on a bit, but when I rang the club up, my son, obviously they're at uni, a lot of them. So I said, can I change one of them from adult to young adult, because the adult ain't going to go anymore, and then my daughter will go. No, you can't do that. You can't.
Really?
And I said, if I can't do that, what are you going to do with my ticket? They go, we can't let you do what you want to do, but we can't send your ticket to anyone either. And I'm like, I ain't going to argue. Complete, people, thick people. What I'm going to do? They go, yeah, we can't sell it. So that seat will remain empty. I managed to go 7 seats forward, so I'm in a Billy Bond stand up, right on the halfway line. But I've gone 7 rows in front, I think. No, so I've got 2 now still. But because of West Ham, they didn't let me do the 3rd one. And they go, you can't have it, but no one else can have it either. You can't fight with these people on the phone.
Because I might have that problem next season, because my son, who actually works part-time for Duke, well, when obviously the pub was open, he's going to uni from September. We're not too sure exactly which one. Could be Oxford, could be Cambridge, could be Harvard, who knows. But no, I mean, so, and the thing is, I've got the same problem as you in that respect, that, he might not be able to go to as many games because of where he might potentially be. So I was thinking about possibly sort of like letting one of my nephews go in his place and seeing if I could keep it as I got you, Duke. Yeah, you could be another option, but I did think about my flesh and blood first. Do forgive me.
No, listen, you're YouTube, buddy. Come on.
Duke looks
right.
Duke looks young anyway. He's 19, mate. He'll be no problem.
Do you reckon he'd get away with it?
Oh, Jack's doing me, mate. We've been invested for a while.
It's a face only a mother could love.
I've got a face for radio. Should have been doing podcasts rather than YouTube videos.
Well, I did tell you sort of like, not only did you fall out the ugly tree, but you hit every branch on the way down.
No, that's nasty.
Mate, I'm used to it.
No,
he's used to it.
Rob, the jump from 20 to 21, I was going to get shafted. So he went from young adult to adult, and I'm like, wow.
What was the jump?
So I was paying 900 for me, 500 for young adult, and 300, I think, for the little kiddie. So 1,800, about 1,700 at most for 3 of them. Wow. And then it went from, then it was going to go 993. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. It's making lockdown. Yeah. Don't know what's happening in the future. Yeah. And then, and she wouldn't agree to it. She goes, no, because my daughter she's at so she's 19, I think, 18, 19.
Yeah.
So she would have gone back down from 900 back to 445 again.
Yeah.
And then I thought, all right, I can handle. I mean, it wouldn't have changed any price. It would have been the same.
Yeah.
She goes, no, I ain't doing it. But I go, well, where's the common sense in that then? Who's going to take my...
And you've been
no one.
A support rule these years. You've been putting money in, and they've just gone basically on your bike.
Yeah.
Well, basically, they're going lockdown. We're not allowed to sell any new season tickets. So she goes, I can't give you a seat to anyone. So give it to me then. But I ain't going to pay that because the family will tell you, no, I'm not doing it. But what can you do with these people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it takes about 1.5 hours.
Jobsworths. They were all traffic wardens in a past life.
Yeah, so it'd be good to link up with you. So usually I leave home about 10:30, 11. So from Windsor to what's that place? What's that? Waterloo. That's about 55 minutes and another 25 to Stratford, mate. And yeah, we all hate the journey, mate. Even when you get at the station, there's another half an hour walk in front of that bloody wind tunnel. But what makes it quicker is I usually do half a run before I'm there, mate, in the train. You know me. Makes the journey go quick. Mixing a bit of rum with a Coke.
That's
away
it.
you go, mate.
Why not?
And then
Why not?
And then a Burger King once you get to Waterloo, because I'm not that keen on burgers at the ground anyway, mate, Once I order the cheeseburger
bloody
and
expensive
onions,
as well.
£7-8 without chips on it.
I know. Ridiculous. I go for the rib man. I used to go with the rib man. Get me rib roll.
Oh, he's gone though. I used to love him. What I tell you, rib man Upton Park.
No.
Is he
back still there? He's been there the whole time.
So he must be on the other side of the ground, which I haven't walked around the front of the entrance.
Yeah, he Mark tends to float about a bit, but there's I'm trying to remember.
I thought he'd gone.
I think it's called the White Post Cafe, if I remember rightly.
Tell you what.
Originally,
Oh, right.
Mark Javot was at Truman's Brewery for about the first 2 seasons, I think. And then he moved to a place called the White Post Cafe, which is quite near to Hackney Wick Overground Station. So if you do ever sort of like fancy a rib roll, Mark, I'm giving you a plug here, mate. Don't forget me. That's the place to go usually. So
I'll tell you
got
what,
you got to catch him quick, because sometimes he's that popular, he sells out, and it's like, well, it's all gone, I'm off. Sort of
I
thing,
tried the chili sauce once, and I was like,
oh,
that was a risk. I would not do that again.
And that's not the hottest one. I mean, the one you're on about, Holy Fuck. That's a real bum burner. That is. The next morning you suffer. But he's got a few that are hotter than that. So it's like, Jesus, what are they like?
Nah, no one can have like aluminium insides, mate. Some of those, no chance. And I don't want to put viewers off, but when I had it, I was worried. I was thinking, if I risk it, I need a toilet nearby in case I need it. You know, I'm just saying it honestly.
He's on the train back home to Windsor, and he's like,
some of those. I said, one in, one out, mate. I'm like, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up shortly. But
thank you very much.
The banner at the bottom. You've got the YouTube channel, you've got the Twitter, you've got the Facebook of Hammers Polls. Check them out. They've got some really good content on there, and occasionally you might find my ugly mug or Duke's beautiful face popping up. Who knows? You might be lucky. But you normally do a 10:30 on a Saturday morning show there, Jazz?
Yeah, we started that from literally 3-4 weeks ago. So it's a match day mornings from 10:30. Okay. Yeah, talk about the games.
Is that even when sort of like so obviously you did it today?
Yeah.
With the game being on the Sunday, is it normally the day before a match?
No. Nothing to do with what day we're going to play. It's always Saturday mornings at the moment. So yeah.
Cool. And my last little thing before I wrap up, guys. Again, I make no apologies for this. Isla's Army, young Isla Caton, 6 years of age, fighting neuroblastoma, a particularly aggressive form of cancer that is particularly prevalent in children. There is no treatment for this on the NHS. Her family has got to put their entire life on hold, cart this poor little girl to wherever they need to in the world to get the treatment she needs to save her life, while still being able to pay the bills that come in this country, let alone paying for the treatment, paying for accommodation, wherever it is they need to go to get the treatment for their daughter. This is very, very expensive, very, very stressful for this family, let alone doing it in the middle of a global pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, if you have family members around about this age, just think how you'd feel if this was your child, grandchild, nephew, niece, whatever. This family needs us. It's as simple as that. If you guys have got anything that you can put into the pot at all, whether it's £1, £10, £100, whatever the amount will be, it will be received and it will be accepted with gratitude by this family. You have a PayPal there, you have a Just Giving there. I ask you to give generously. And if you genuinely can't, because I appreciate times are tough, that's not a problem. All I would ask you to do, please, would be to share this as far and wide on all your social media platforms as you can, and try and keep the momentum going behind this appeal. I thank you very much for your attention.
Very good shout,
so,
mate.
Jazz,
Baz has done a lot as well. Just give him a shout.
We had Baz on.
Good lad.
He's an absolute gentleman. Yeah, absolute gentleman, the bloke.
Top lad.
Yeah, definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end. If you have liked this video, please give it a like. If you want to comment, you've got the comment section below. Anything you want to say, you've agreed with Jazz, disagreed with him, the reasons why, please put it all there, ladies and gentlemen. We like to read your comments. They're fascinating, to be sure. A little bit of my Irish coming out there. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, to be sure. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel rather, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified of any new content as and when me and the Claret and Blue Cowboy upload it to the channel. You can also find us at Twitter at Forge Talk and also at Facebook, Forged from Iron. I'm Gatesy, that's Duke, in the middle is Jazz. One thing left to say, gentlemen, we're off to Old Trafford tomorrow, hopefully to get the 3 points to propel us into Europe. Come on, you Irons!
Come on, you Irons!